Senegal midfielder Pape Gueye has announced that he is stepping away from international football for as long as the current coaching staff remains in charge, following the nation's dramatic FIFA World Cup elimination. The Villarreal midfielder revealed his decision on social media after Senegal suffered a heartbreaking 3-2 extra-time defeat to Belgium in the round of 32. Despite leading by 2 goals, the Lions of Tirana conceded twice in just 2.5 minutes before ultimately crashing out of the tournament. The statement signals a major rift between the 27-year-old and head coach Pape Gueye, with reports suggesting growing frustration over the team's management following the World Cup exit. Gueye started the match against Belgium, but was substituted shortly after the hour mark while Senegal still held a 2-goal advantage. Gueye replaced him with Monaco midfielder Lamine Camara, a tactical change that preceded Senegal's collapse and eventual elimination. The midfielder's decision raises fresh questions over the future of Senegal's national team setup, with pressure likely to mount on the coaching staff after both the disappointing World Cup campaign and the public fallout with one of the country's key players. Barcelona are reportedly weighing up a sensational move for Arsenal defender William Saliba, the French international emerging as one of the club's top defensive targets ahead of the new season. The Catalan Giants are closely monitoring Saliba's situation as they look to strengthen their backline with one of Europe's elite center-backs. However, completing a deal is expected to be an enormous challenge. Saliba remains a key figure in Mikel Arteta's squad, and Arsenal have no intention of letting the 24-year-old leave unless they receive an extraordinary offer. The report claims the Gunners would only consider entering negotiations if a bid worth around £130 million is submitted, a fee that would shatter the current world record transfer for a defender. While Barcelona admires Saliba's quality and long-term potential, any move will depend on whether the Spanish champions can generate the financial resources needed to fund what would be one of the biggest transfers in football history. For now, Saliba remains firmly at the heart of Arsenal's defensive plans, but Barcelona's reported interest is expected to be one of the major transfer stories to watch in the coming months. Paris Saint-Germain have reportedly softened their stance on the future of Bradley Barcola, with Arsenal increasingly interested in signing the France international this summer. The Gunners are understood to have identified Barcola as one of their priority targets as Mikel Arteta looks to strengthen the left wing. Morgan Rogers and Christos Solis also remain on Arsenal's shortlist, but Barcola is believed to be among the club's preferred options. PSG had previously made it clear that the 22-year-old was not for sale. However, fresh reports suggest the French champions could now be willing to consider offers if their valuation is met. Barcola has yet to commit his future to PSG, with the winger reportedly hesitant to sign a new contract as he seeks more regular starts next season. Meanwhile, further reports claim PSG would only entertain bids exceeding the £116 million fee reportedly paid by Manchester City for Elliot Anderson, highlighting just how highly they value the French star. Arsenal have received encouragement that a deal could be possible. The report also states that Arsenal scouts were present to watch Barcola during France's 3-0 victory over Sweden, where the winger impressed by scoring Les Blues' second goal. Although negotiations are yet to begin, Arsenal's interest appears to be intensifying, with Barcola emerging as one of the club's marquee transfer targets ahead of a new campaign. AC Milan are signing Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk during the summer transfer window, with the Dutch defender entering the final year of his contract at Anfield. The 34-year-old center-back continues to be linked with a potential departure, prompting Milan to assess whether a blockbuster deal could be possible ahead of the new season. Milan's hierarchy have held internal discussions over the feasibility of signing Van Dijk. The move has been described as complicated due to the significant financial package required and Liverpool's reluctance to part ways with one of their most influential players. Van Dijk remains a key figure in Liverpool's defense and leadership group, meaning any negotiations would likely depend on both the club's willingness to sell and the player's own intentions regarding his future. While no formal offer has been submitted, AC Milan are believed to be monitoring the situation closely as they consider adding one of world football's most experienced defenders to their squad. With Van Dijk's contract entering its final 12 months, speculation over his long-term future is expected to intensify in the coming weeks as Europe's top clubs keep a close eye on developments at Anfield. Manchester City have moved for Real Madrid midfielder Eduardo Camavinga, as Pep Guardiola's side continue their search for reinforcements in the middle of the park. 23-year-old France international has emerged as a serious target, with reports suggesting he could be available for around €60 million as Real Madrid reshape their squad under new head coach Jose Mourinho. Camavinga is believed to be among several midfielders being considered by City following the club's £116 million move for Nottingham Forest star Elliot Anderson, with Guardiola still keen to add further quality and depth to his midfield options. Camavinga's versatility, composure on the ball, and ability to operate in multiple midfield roles have made him one of Europe's most highly rated young players, and City believe he could be an ideal addition to Guardiola's squad. While negotiations remain at an early stage, Manchester City are expected to continue exploring the possibility of signing the French international as Real Madrid's summer rebuild gathers pace. Leandro Trossard is weighing up his future after Arsenal accepted a £17 million offer from Turkish giants Besiktas for the Belgian forward. Reports from Turkey claim the Gunners are willing to sanction Trossard's departure as Mikel Arteta continues reshaping his squad ahead of a new season, with the 30-year-old no longer considered an untouchable member of the Premier League champions' plans. Despite Arsenal reaching an agreement with Besiktas, the transfer is not yet complete, as Trossard has still not made a final decision on whether he is prepared to continue his career in the Turkish Super League. Trossard joined Arsenal from Brighton and Hove Albion in January 2023 in a deal worth £20.6 million. Since arriving at the Emirates Stadium, he has made a significant contribution, scoring 36 goals and providing 34 assists in 174 appearances across all competitions. The Belgian international is currently away on World Cup duty with his national team, where he has enjoyed an impressive tournament by scoring 2 goals in 3 matches. Belgium are set to face Senegal in a round of 32, with Trossard's club future expected to become clearer once his international commitments come to an end. For now, Arsenal have done their part by accepting Besiktas' offer, but the final decision rests with Trossard as he considers whether to make the move to Turkey. Newcastle United are concerned that Bruno Guimaraes could be tempted by growing interest from Arsenal during the summer transfer window. The Gunners are actively exploring a move for the Newcastle captain as Mikel Arteta looks to strengthen his midfield options ahead of the new season. Arsenal are understood to have held initial talks with Guimaraes representatives last week to assess the Brazil international situation and determine whether a deal could be possible. Following those discussions, the North London club reportedly submitted an informal proposal worth around £55 million, suggesting they had received positive encouragement from the players' camp to intensify their interest. Newcastle swiftly rejected the approach and remained determined to keep hold of one of their most influential players. The 28-year-old has established himself as one of the Premier League's standout midfielders since arriving from Lyon, and Newcastle view him as a cornerstone of their long-term project. Although no formal negotiations are currently underway, Arsenal's continued pursuit is expected to remain one of the biggest transfer stories of the summer, with Newcastle hoping to fend off interest in their captain. Bayern Munich are closely monitoring the situation of Vinicius Jr. as uncertainty continues to surround the Brazilian forward's future at Real Madrid. The 25-year-old remains locked in contract negotiations with the Spanish giants, but talks have reportedly stalled after Vinicius demanded a salary equal to or greater than that of teammate Kylian Mbappe, a request Real Madrid are currently unwilling to meet. With no agreement in place, negotiations are expected to resume after the FIFA World Cup. However, the ongoing deadlock has fueled speculation that Madrid could be forced to consider the forward's future. Bayern Munich are believed to be among the clubs keeping a close watch on developments, with the Bundesliga champions ready to explore a potential move should Vinicius become available on the transfer market. Despite the uncertainty, Real Madrid remain hopeful of reaching an agreement with the Brazil international, who has established himself as one of the world's elite attackers. Nevertheless, Bayern's interest ensures the contract saga will remain one of the biggest stories of the summer transfer window.